Hi and welcome back to the Earth of Maria show. I am very happy that you have decided to join me today, and I hope to make the next 15 or so minutes very entertaining and informative for you guys. So today's video, as you can tell by the title, is going to be all about meal prep. More specifically, I am going to be showing you guys how to complete an entire meal prep from start to finish in just slightly over an hour, and it's going to be amazing. Meal prep is such a useful skill because before I started doing it on a more regular basis, I used to be so disorganized with my food. I would literally go into the kitchen and stand around for a solid 15 minutes not knowing what I actually want to make, and that disorganization was a big waste of time, which is not something that I need when I'm trying to, be productive and get stuff done. Meal prep has been massively helpful with that. Just obviously cooking is my job and I do it all the time, but on days when I need to focus on something else, such as writing an essay or doing stuff on the computer, having something ready to be eaten in the fridge just takes away the stress of preparing all of my meals from scratch. So in this meal prep, all of the recipes are going to be very simple. You won't need a lot of ingredients and no fancy ingredients at all, and there's going to be options for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and I've also thrown in a snack option and something sweet to either have as a dessert or once again to just snack on during the day. As always, I've made sure the recipes actually taste good, so it can be something that you look forward to eating on a daily basis. As with everything on my channel, everything is 100% vegan and gluten-free as well, and very versatile. So if there's any ingredients that you want to add or take away to kind of tailor it to your own preferences, you can 100% do that. And I've also organized these recipes in such a way as to minimize preparation time as much as possible. A lot of people worry about the actual process of meal prep taking hours and hours, but that definitely doesn't need to be the case, as long as you kind of organize the cooking in such a way as to allow yourself to multitask and for things to cook at the same time, and to basically streamline the entire process, which is the key to spending as little time on cooking as possible and still having a lot of delicious, healthy food to look forward to. I don't want to keep talking much longer because, as I like to say, we are all here for the food. But before we move on to the recipes, do give me a follow on Instagram and also sign up to my mailing list to receive regular recipe content like this, and all of the recipes are going to be in the description box below. A lot of them are on my website already, but a couple are YouTube exclusive, so you guys are very lucky in that sense. And yeah, that's enough of my rambling. Let's get onto the meal prep. Okay, so our starting point is going to be roasting up some sweet potato, and this is an absolutely massive one that I have here. I think this one is nearly 1 kilogram in weight. And then a generous pinch of sea salt, and this flaky type of salt is my absolute favorite, and I think it looks really pretty on food as well. And I'm just going to toss that together. If you want to make this oil-free, you can add a couple of tablespoons of water or maple syrup instead, and then add the salt just to kind of help bind it together, and then just transfer that to a sheet of baking paper. Make sure that the baking tray is not super overcrowded, just to allow the potatoes to cook through 100% evenly. And we are going to put that in the oven at 200 degrees Celsius, which is around 400 Fahrenheit, and allow it to cook for around 35 to 40 minutes until nice and crispy and golden brown. Right, so the next thing that we are going to be making is a spicy barbecue marinated tofu. So to prepare the marinade, I'm going to be adding 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar to a mixing bowl, followed by 2 tablespoons of tamari, which is gluten-free soy sauce. Next up, I'm gonna add a tablespoon of maple syrup, 2 teaspoons of hot sauce, a tablespoon of brown rice miso paste, and 2 cloves of chopped garlic, and whisk that together really well. And next up, I'm going to add the tofu. So one of the keys to making tofu taste delicious is marinating it. And right, so here I've just transferred it to a rectangular glass container, and you have to give it at least 30 minutes in the fridge just for the flavors to absorb very nicely. For our breakfast option, I'm going to be making a very simple chocolate chia pudding. So this is around a 1/4 cup of chia seeds, which I'm just going to transfer to a mixing bowl. Follow that up with a cup of soy yogurt or any plant-based yogurt of your choice, 3/4 of a cup of plant-based milk. This is oat milk that I'm using for this, a large mashed banana, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and just for fun, I am adding a packet of vegan chocolate chips, but this is entirely optional, although highly recommended. Then proceed to whisk all of that together until everything is nicely incorporated. You're going to want to leave it in the fridge for at least half an hour to around 45 minutes, but if you're going to be meal prepping this, you will most likely leave it in the fridge overnight, so that's not something that you should massively worry about. Up next, we are going to be making 2 different chickpea dishes, one of which we are going to be serving for a lunch option, and the other one is going to be served with dinner. So first of all, the lunch option is going to be a chickpea and avocado wrap. So these are the ingredients that I will be using for that. I'm just going to add the chickpeas to a large non-stick frying pan. And just to make it clear, this is 1 can of drained and rinsed chickpeas, followed by a tablespoon of maple syrup. And in here I have a teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of turmeric, and around a teaspoon of Himalayan pink salt. So you're going to want to give them around 5 to 7 minutes in the frying pan, and as I'm cooking them, I am flattening them down just very roughly, and this is just going to add a little bit of texture and make it work much better as a wrap filling. Next up, let's make our very simple avocado sauce for the wrap. So in here I have a large mashed avocado, and I'm going to add in some fresh dill, followed by a tablespoon of tamari, the juice of around half a lemon, finally 3 tablespoons of soy yogurt. So stir all of that together, and now it's time to assemble our wraps. Okay, now it's time to make our second chickpea meal, which is going to be a dinner option. I actually have some rice cooking up here, and it's sushi rice, which is my favorite rice variety, but you can use whichever one you prefer. And the second chickpea meal is going to be just simply chickpeas and veggies in a rich tomato sauce. It's very uncomplicated, and yeah, so I'm going to start off just by adding a drizzle of olive oil to a non-stick frying pan. Then I'm going to add in a finely chopped onion and around 2 ribs of celery, and proceed to saute that for around 2 minutes until the vegetables start to soften. Alright, so it's been about 2 minutes, and next I'm just going to add in some carrot that I've turned into ribbons using a vegetable peeler, chestnut mushrooms, and a tablespoon of tomato paste. So after around 3 to 4 minutes, once the vegetables and the mushrooms have begun to soften and they've shrunk down nicely, that's when I'm going to go in with the chickpeas, a can of chopped tomatoes, 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, a teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of ground black pepper, a teaspoon of oregano, I have no idea how to pronounce that, a tablespoon of smoked paprika, and you're going to want to let that simmer and stir it quite frequently for around 10 to 12 minutes. Okay, so this is what the tofu should look like after you've let it marinate. After around 12 minutes of simmering these chickpeas and veggies, remember to stir this frequently in order to make sure that it doesn't get dry. I'm just going to add a couple handfuls of kale because we know that eating kale is amazing for us. And I'm also going to add a pinch of salt, and just continue to stir until the kale wilts down. So this is what the tofu looks like after 15 minutes in the oven at 200 degrees Celsius or 400 Fahrenheit. It's nice and golden and crispy, and keep in mind that I did flip it halfway through, so after around 7 minutes. Okay, so what I'm doing now is making a white bean dip, and this is a great option for putting on rice cakes, putting on toast, using as a dip for veggie sticks, and just a great little option for snacks. So here I am going in with a can of butter beans, a clove of garlic and 2 teaspoons of cumin, a handful of fresh parsley, a tablespoon of smooth peanut butter, which may seem a bit weird in a savory spread, but trust me, it works super well. 1/3 cup of oat milk, a tablespoon of tamari, and the juice of half a lemon. Just pop the lid on there and we are going to blend away. Last but not least, we are going to be making carrot cake bliss balls. So the first thing is I'm going to add a cup of grated carrot, a cup of pitted major dates, 1/2 cup of cashew nuts. The recipe that's on my website calls with pecans, but I don't have any on me right now, and any nut variety is just as good. 1/3 cup of coconut flour and a 1/4 cup of peanut butter. And now you can just go ahead and blend. Okay, you can obviously go ahead and arrange the different components how you would like, but here I have the chia pudding served with fruit and peanut butter and nuts. Then I have the white bean spread, which is just amazing for putting on everything and it keeps really well in the fridge. Then the carrot cake bliss balls, which are one of my favorite go-to snacks at the moment. Then for my lunches, I serve the baked tofu with rice and vegetables, the tomato sauce chickpeas with the sweet potato, and finally the turmeric chickpea wrap. Then for dinner, just to switch things up, I served the tofu with the sweet potato and the tomato sauce chickpeas over the sushi rice. Okay, and that's it from me for today. I hope you guys enjoyed these recipes. If you give the entire meal prep a go, do leave a comment and tell me how it went, or even if you try 1 or 2 of the recipes, I would still very much appreciate your feedback. And yeah, I am notoriously bad at doing outros for my videos, but I will see you all very soon.